She wasn't your typical loving grandma or someone I would want to bake cookies with. I'll be the first to say this story is crazy, showing nothing but joy for her crime. This one may be a hard one to watch. This is CrimeFreak and welcome back to the channel. I want to start off with you thinking of your grandma. Loving, caring, and well, not someone you see committing a crime. Here is the cold case of Cynthia Sedebacker and her victim. We are in lovely Fallbrook, California. Cynthia was born on February 11th, 1951. She gave birth to one daughter and her name was Laura Sedebacker. Laura was what some call a golden child. She stayed out of trouble, loved spending time with the family, and in her free time even enjoyed listening to music. As Laura got older though, she would mature into an adult, and she eventually found the love of her life, Gerard D'Estachio. The two would fall in love with each other, and in 2001, Gerard got down on one knee and the two would eventually marry. For the next chapter in their life, they ended up moving to Fallbrook, California, and at this point had two kids together. Gerard was 40 years old, working as a real estate agent and was a military reservist for the United States Armed Forces. Along with him came two kids from his last marriage, and at this point in Gerard's life, he was already a well-off man, and on top of that, his wife Laura was also a real estate agent. So it's safe to say that the couple was well off financially. To most people, they would appear as a typical loving family, which they were, but all that would soon change. As we head on to 2013, the household was hectic. Gerard and Laura had full-time jobs, kids to look after, and to keep adding to the responsibilities was Cynthia, Laura's mother. Years prior, Cynthia had a stroke, making it harder to live on her own. So Laura would take the necessary steps, moving her mother Cynthia into the part of her own house that they called the granny flat. This was a comfortable apartment over the family home garage, and this was a place where she can stay while Gerard and Laura watched over her. While Cynthia started to get more comfortable, the tension between her and Gerard would just keep getting worse. Gerard had an alpha personality, and due to his military mindset, he was hard on his kids. However, he still was a loving father and husband who really just wanted his kids to succeed, and this was how he went about it. While most didn't mind this, Cynthia would be the only one to voice her opinion on his parenting. The two will argue on literally anything. One big thing was how to raise the kids. Watching how tough and how controlling he was simply did not sit right with Cynthia. Cynthia became a bit delusional with this after she found bruises on her daughter's arm. Cynthia took this as a red flag that she believed Gerard was abusing his wife. From here on, Cynthia kept a close eye on Gerard. On February 11th, 2014, it was Cynthia's birthday. A brand new sunny day. On this day, Gerard was also getting ready for his daughter's spelling bee contest, and just after 8 a.m., local police would receive a 911 call pinning back to their home street.
Sheriff's Communications Dispatcher number 10, may I help you? Hi, I was in my bathroom doing my hair and I could hear what sounded like gunshots, and I opened my window and I hear it sounds like a man saying, "Help me, help me." I just heard the shot again.
Yeah, there was some gunshots fired. about 5 of them behind my house, and I can hear someone yelling, "Help me." Oh, another gunshot. Another shot. I hear it. Another one. 3 more. Okay.
The morning of Gerwald's fateful day, as you may have guessed, Cynthia and Gerwald would get into another verbal argument. It started when Cynthia woke up that morning and headed to the kitchen to begin her day. She came downstairs wearing a football jersey, where Gerwald replied that she looked quote unquote ghetto. That would be Cynthia's breaking point. She walks back up the stairs to get the .38 caliber pistol she was hiding. After grabbing it, she would rush downstairs to find Gerwald. At this point, Cynthia was distraught with him and her emotions got the best of her. She saw Gerwald with his back turned, and that's when she pointed the gun and pulled the trigger. But that isn't where it ends. Cynthia would then go to her car and reload her weapon. She then shot 5 more times before going back to her vehicle a second time, reloading again before returning to the kitchen area to deliver 5 more shots. The neighbors' 911 calls would lead police to the Sutterbacker home. This is where they would find Gerwald with 12 gunshot wounds. Cynthia had fired 5 times before she went back and reloaded the gun. Police knew there was a pause to the attack after finding Gerwald's bloody trail, which shows that he was trying to get away. He managed to crawl out into the kitchen, locking the door behind him. Unfortunately though, Cynthia had then fired the gun through the glass he was trying to hide behind, hitting him directly in his chest. Law enforcement would reach out to the family, breaking this devastating news. They managed to get a hold of everyone, literally everyone, except for one person, and you guessed it, it was Cynthia. She was yet to be heard from since the attack, and so police began their search in the areas that her daughter Laura recommended to them. Oddly enough, Cynthia's go-to place after taking someone's life was Denny's. Yeah, you know, the food place for a warm meal. After shooting Gerwald, she would then return back to her car for a 3rd time, except this time to get in the driver's seat and drive away. After, she would head over to a casino northeast from Fallbrook and gamble for over 2 hours. That's when police then found her around the area in a local coffee shop. Cynthia was then taken into custody at this point for some questioning.
What did you think of him? And why do you say that?
That's the big thumbs down. You didn't like him.
So mean to me and all of them.
He's mean to everybody?
Yes, he is.
Anybody try to stop him?
Can't stop him.
It sounds like somebody had to stop him, or
I did. I was guilty.
somebody had to stop him.
I did.
Okay, it's okay.
Is he dead?
You tell me.
Gotta be dead.
You think he's dead?
I hope so.
Years would go by before Cynthia would have her trial. Police found out she had purchased the pistol just 3 weeks before committing the crime. She started spending time at the firing range, learning how to use the gun as well. This led the jury to conclude that the gun was purchased with the intent to be used on Jawad. In court, Jawad's abusive behavior that Cynthia was assuming existed was also brought up. Laura would then even testify against Jawad, admitting that yes, at times he was abusive. However, there was no evidence to prove these claims to be valid. Even if they were valid though, it was still not really any excuse to commit a crime like this. at least in the eyes of the jury. Doctors had a mental evaluation on Cynthia to see if her stroke had anything to do with her decision-making process, something that can reduce her sentencing. But the evaluations would come back and confirm that she was competent enough and knew exactly what she was doing before deciding to kill Gerard. In March of 2017, Cynthia was finally sentenced to life in prison. She is eligible for parole after 50 years and is already 66 years old as of today. She will no longer be seeing the light of day ever again. During Laura's speech in court, this is what she had to say. "This is a tragedy. I love my mom. I love Gerald. There's no win here, not for anyone. It's just complete sadness." The jury stated that if the abuse in the household was genuine or not, this still would not be a valid reason to end Gerald's life. Her actions did more damage than just end the feud between them two. She took a father away from 4 children who loved him and her own daughter's loving husband, showing absolutely zero remorse the entire time. She deserves nothing but the worst, and this is evidently what she will get, since she will never have the chance to see her loving grandchildren outside of prison again. I would love to know your thoughts on this, so feel free to express your feelings about this story down in the comments section below. And if you enjoyed this true crime cold case, be sure to leave a like on the video before you go, and don't forget to subscribe to the CrimeFreak channel so you don't miss any future cold case videos just like this one you watched today. I will see you guys in the next video, and until then, stay freaky.